Wow, the mosquito. Bet this has got a story to tell.
Resistance against the Germans came in three different ways. The first was gathering intelligence for the Allies, second was sabotage, and the third was helping Allied servicemen escape the clutches of the Germans and get back to England. In most cases, the penalty for this, if caught, was death. When a request came through to the RAF to help French resistance prisoners who were going to be executed, many of them who had helped RAF airmen to escape, the request was willingly accepted. The plan was to release approximately 120 French resistance prisoners awaiting trial and death in Amiens prison. Could the mosquitoes strike the prison without harming the inmates crammed inside such a confined space, while at the same time killing as many of the guards as possible? Collateral damage, i.e. prisoners, was going to be high. 48 bombs were estimated to be the right amount to send over. Sounds a lot to bomb a prison, but this allowed for aircraft aborting the mission, bombs failing to detonate, and bombs missing the target. Semi-armour piercing bombs would be used to break open the outer walls, and high explosive bombs would be used on the prison. These would have a concussive effect that would allow the cell doors to be forced from their frames. Briefing was at 8 AM. Armed RAF policemen stood at the door of the briefing room that morning, impressing on the crew the sensitivity of their target. Only airmen on the raid could enter. On the commanding officer's table stood a large mysterious box. The mission leader, Picard, explained what was to come. Your target today is a very special one from every point of view. There has been no little debate about whether this attack should be carried out, and your AOC more or less had to ask for a vote of confidence in his men and his aircraft before we were given the chance of having a crack at it. It could only be successfully carried out by low-level mosquitoes, and we've got to make a big success of it to justify his faith in us, and to prove further, if proof is necessary, just how accurately we can put our bombs down. The story is this. In the prison at Amiens is 120 French patriots who have been condemned to death to be shot by the Nazis for assisting the Allies. Some have been condemned for assisting Allied airmen to escape after being brought down in France. Their end is a matter of a day or two. Only a successful operation by the RAF to break down their prison walls can save them, and we're going to have a crack at it today. We're going to bust that prison open. If we make a good job of it and give the lads inside a chance to get out, the French underground people will be standing by to take over from there. There are 18 of you detailed for this trip. In addition, the film unit's special aircraft is coming along to see what sort of job you make of it. The first 6 of you are going to breach the walls. Now these walls have got to be broken down if the men inside are to get out successfully. This will mean some real low-level flying. You've got to be right down on the deck. The walls are only about 25 feet high, and if we're not damn careful, our bombs are going to bounce right over them and land inside the prison and blow everyone to smithereens. We've told the men inside of this through the underground movement, and they're fully aware of the possibility. We've got to cut down that risk to the minimum. You've got to be below the height of the wall when you let them go, down to 10 feet if possible. There are no obstructions in the way on your run up, so you should be able to make it. At 12:03 the first wave of mosquitoes went in and hit the prison walls. The film you can see here is from the film unit Mosquito, and the black thing crossing the screen is one of the fighter Typhoons that were there to protect them. Next, the second wave went in and hit the prison itself and blew the cell doors off. No Michael Caine jokes, please. Part of the plan was that during the raid, Group Captain Pickard would circle above the prison and decide whether it was necessary to send in the third wave. While he was doing this, he spotted that one of his mosquitoes had been hit by flak, so he went away from the prison to see what happened to the wreckage, and unfortunately he was jumped upon by a Bf 109 and killed. French villagers retrieved Percy Pickard's body, but the Germans made them hand it over, but they didn't stop them attending the funeral. Saddened as they were by the loss of their leader and other colleagues, the air crews who took part in the operation felt that the sacrifices had not been in vain when it became known that a high percentage of patriots had escaped. Although, as was unavoidable, some of the patriots were killed by German machine guns as well as by bombs, and it's also known that the Germans themselves suffered casualties from the attack. Approximately 80 of the prisoners were killed by the bombs in the raid. Some of the prisoners decided not to escape and stayed to help the people who were buried under the rubble. Some of the people who did escape were executed by the Germans when they were recaptured, but approximately 90 of the prisoners managed to get out and stay out. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe.